From the Cardinal Television studios, I'm Justin Gould with your Fisher News Brief. This past weekend was a sobering reminder of the dangers of policing. 4 officers were shot in 4 separate cities all within 24 hours. In San Antonio, Texas, an officer was killed and the suspect is still on the loose. Scott McLean reports.
San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi was inside his vehicle Sunday writing a routine traffic ticket when someone approached his window, shooting him twice and sparking a manhunt.
The search has gone on since we started yesterday afternoon and has not stopped all night and to this point, and it will not stop until this person is in custody.
Marconi was 50 years old and had spent almost half his life on the force. San Antonio police say the suspect was briefly inside police headquarters before the shooting, barely long enough to ask the clerk a question and walk out. It's not clear what he wanted, but the local police chief says it is clear who the target was.
I think the uniform was the target, and anyone who happened to, first person who happened along was the person that he targeted.
Meanwhile, in St. Louis, an officer was shot twice in the face by a suspect wanted for a string of other crimes. The officer will survive, but the suspect was killed by police.
This officer was not involved in a traffic stop. This officer was not trying to pull this car over. This officer was driving down the road and was ambushed.
And that's not all. In Sanibel, Florida, an officer was shot and injured during a traffic stop. The suspect in that case was arrested, but not before trading gunfire with police. And in a Kansas City suburb, a teenage suspect shot a police officer after police say he took off running from a traffic stop. Police say he pulled a gun when they tried to arrest him. An officer was shot and injured. The suspect was killed. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
And a call for peace, demonstrators gathered in Worthington, Ohio to stand up against hate by sharing a message of unity. Megan Matthews has more.
The answer, my friend,
even on a cold night, the crowd in Worthington grew bigger.
And we wanted to let people know that some of the hateful rhetoric that's going on in other parts of the country, it will not be accepted or tolerated here.
On the village green, community members took a stand. Nearly 1,000 people all huddled together because some of them had to be a part of this.
So we said, let's do something and show the world and show the rest of Central Ohio that we stand for something.
You are not alone.
Black, white, Muslim, gay, or straight, they all held a candle together, united with love, protesting for peace.
There's been an increase in hateful rhetoric, hate crimes. We've heard about it from people right here in our community, and we think there's a need now to stand up and make a visible statement of unity that all are welcome here.
No place for hate. This is the second large peace rally held in a week. Organizers say this march was inspired by last weekend's peaceful demonstration in Clintonville.
We will not hate. We have no fear.
With signs in hand, the crowd marched along High Street to Worthington Methodist Church, where they ended with a prayer.
I hope it brings people together. That's what I hope.
Many hoping the community heard the message loud and clear.
The deadly effects of smoking have been public knowledge for more than half a century. Still, more than 42 million people light up daily, and cigarettes are the leading cause of preventable death in the country. Once smoking becomes a habit, it's incredibly difficult to stop. Studies have shown that up to 90% of people who try to quit will start smoking again. But there are some methods that have been scientifically proven to work, at least sometimes. Kim Hutcherson has that in today's Health Minute.
If you're looking to quit smoking, financial incentives might be your best bet. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that people who were motivated by money were able to quit successfully, at least after 12 months. The program that worked best had people deposit $150 with a promise they'd get the deposit back plus $650 more if they stayed away from smokes. A little more than 52% of participants were able to quit. But money isn't always a guarantee. Another group got $800 if they refrained from smoking and didn't have to put down a deposit. Only 17% of those participants were successful. Nicotine replacement therapy, like skin patches, lozenges, or gum, is another option with scientifically proven success. A scientific literature review that examined more than 150 different tests for these items showed that a person's likelihood of quitting while using them increased 50 to 70%. Other methods that have proven results: prescription drugs and quitting with a partner. The jury's still out on e-cigarettes, though. Researchers aren't sure if they help smokers quit or fuel a new addiction. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
There are lots of resources online with tips to help you quit smoking, including the website of the CDC, the American Heart Association, and at smokefree.gov. That's all of today's headlines. I'm Justin Gould for Fisher News Brief.